Welcome back. Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference kicked off this week with a bunch of new software updates. Joining us with the latest is Shelly Palmer, tech consultant and host of the podcast Think About This. But Shelly, before we get to Apple, we are getting word of a major web outage. I know I just mentioned this to you in the break, but kind of explain what the CDN thing is vastly, which is operating a bunch of sites, CNN, Twitter, Hulu, Twitch, and New York Times. So talk about what's going on here.
Yeah, when your content distribution network goes down, you're in trouble. That's what a CDN is, content distribution network. And what it does is it brings content closer to where you are and caches it. And what that means is they can't just send content directly from their web server to your website. When you have a giant site and you have people all over the world, you've got to get the content close to the people. So content distribution networks move the most recent content, the content people are using the most, out what's known as out to the edge where the people are. So all big sites that have a lot of content rely on content distribution networks. And apparently Fastly's down this morning. Whoops.
Now,
it took out the New York Times, it took out Financial Times, Guardian, CNN. I think Hulu's got some problems. It's a big deal. Hopefully they get it worked out, sooner than later.
Now, I'm sure it will get figured out, but I think this kind of speaks to a bigger problem, the fact that we're seeing how many flaws are in the world of the internet and why we should maybe move towards something that's a little bit more decentralized.
People will always talk about decentralization, but at the moment, the central servers are actually the most secure, the fastest. The problem isn't the system. The problem is the way we single thread through them. If your system is architected so that everything depends on one component and that component goes down, then you're in serious trouble. There are redundant capabilities available now, but not everything is considered a mission critical system. You don't really hear about banks going down ever. And the reason is they use the same kind of systems. They just use redundant versions of them. So here there's a cost benefit, right? How much can you spend on certain aspects of the system? But you're right. If you were to be decentralized, you would have it would be far less likely that something like this could happen.
Are you seeing any negative aspects behind this? Is there kind of ransomware behind this, or do you think that's not even related to what's going on right now?
I think it's too early to tell. This just really came across the wire this morning, and so it's hard to know what the circumstances are. This could be a cut cable. This could be a backup issue. It could be a software issue. There's a million things it could be. It's impossible to speculate, but we'll know a little bit more as the information becomes available. We can report it, but right now we just know there's just one thing we're sure of. You can't get to New York Times. You can't get to CNN.com. You can't get to FT. That much I do know. I don't know why, but I do know it's not happening right now.
Yeah, and I know you can't get the new iOS operating system until later this year. Shelly, I know you're going to be talking about that. We didn't have too much time this morning, but anyone can find out more information on your website. You want to give some information on that?
Yeah, no, look, there's some really great stuff coming, Bianca. We've got FaceTime has some upgrades. There's going to be a grid mode. They're going to have portrait mode like you do in the camera, so the background can be blurry, like my background's blurry. This is done with a lens, but now you'll be able to do it just with the camera. They've got spatial audio coming, so you'll be able to tell where people are around you. And one of the biggest announcements is that Siri is going to now allow third-party apps. So Apple, like Amazon, is going to really start to be part of your home IoT system. There'll be a lot of vendors that now can use Siri. That wasn't quite the case before. So Apple is going to do a really good job, I think, of trying to make Siri available to third-party developers, in which case you'll have it all over your house. So there was a lot of really nice stuff. I know we're out of time, but yeah, at shellypalmer.com, we've got a full list of the stuff that they announced. And it's only software, but it's cool software.
There we go. We love to hear it, Shelly. Thank you so much. We'll check back in with you next week.